Tonight on NewsWatch, pressure is building on lawmakers to end the government shutdown. Why military families are speaking out, calling for Washington to find a solution. Plus, ending aid in Egypt. Could a cut of U.S. funding cause more unrest in the region? And the amazing journey of one man who risked his life to migrate out of Africa. All this and more tonight on NewsWatch. Good evening. I'm Mark Martin. It's day 9 of the partial government shutdown. The president will meet with some House Republicans tomorrow. But today, much of Washington was focused on how the shutdown is hurting the American military. Gary Lane explains in tonight's top story.
The budget showdown on Capitol Hill Wednesday focused on the needs of veterans and the families of fallen soldiers. In Washington, Veterans Affairs Secretary Eric Shinseki warned the government shutdown is now affecting 1,400 veterans per day.
If the shutdown does not end in the coming weeks, VA will not be able to assure delivery of 1 November checks to more than 5.18 million beneficiaries.
And members of both parties expressed outrage over the denial of benefits to families of fallen soldiers.
I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed. All of us should be.
Washington may be shut down, but it's still asking people to go to war.
Since the federal shutdown, 17 U.S. servicemen have died in Afghanistan. Their families have yet to receive death benefits, money used to travel to Dover Air Force Base to receive the bodies of their loved ones. The funds are also used to cover critical funeral costs and other expenses.
The president was very disturbed to learn of this problem, and he directed the Department of Defense to work with the Office of Management and Budget and his lawyers to develop a possible solution. The president expects this to be fixed today.
The Republican-led House passed legislation restoring the veterans' benefits, even though Democrats opposed the bill, saying they wanted a full budget bill passed. Meanwhile, news comes from the White House that President Obama now says he's willing to negotiate with Republicans, but only after they allow Congress to reopen the government and raise the debt limit to end the threat of a default.
We understand there's going to have to be some give and take. What we are saying is, don't hurt more people while we're trying to resolve these differences. Let's just at least make sure that we keep the lights on while we're having these conversations.
If there's unconditional surrender by Republicans, he'll sit down and talk to us. That's not the way our government works.
And concern is being expressed around the world of a possible U.S. government default on its financial obligations. And the International Monetary Fund trimmed its global and U.S. growth forecasts through 2014. Warning that a U.S. default would raise interest rates and potentially drive the American economy back into a recession.
Warren Buffett likened default to a nuclear bomb, a weapon too horrible to use.
Meanwhile, new charges from conservatives that Democrats and the White House are playing politics with the shutdown. And polls show the administration's PR war is somewhat successful. 62% of Americans say Republicans are mostly responsible for the shutdown. Gary Lane, CBN News.
This afternoon, the World War II Memorial reopened for what's being called First Amendment activities. That after the American Center for Law and Justice threatened a lawsuit. President Obama nominated today a new Fed chief. Janet Yellen is currently vice chair of the Federal Reserve. The president has picked her to succeed outgoing chairman Ben Bernanke come January. Yellen helped Bernanke craft the policies many analysts say helped save the banking system after the 2008 financial collapse. She's expected to continue them if confirmed by the Senate, but she may face a tough confirmation battle. Some critics believe those policies have raised the risk of inflation. If confirmed, Yellen would be the first woman to lead a central bank anywhere in the world. The Obama administration is set to slash hundreds of millions of dollars in military and economic aid to Egypt. When the radical Muslim Brotherhood came to power, the White House kept the money flowing. But now U.S. officials say the administration will cut aid to Egypt's current military government. The military ousted Mohamed Morsi's government in June. A move by the U.S. to cut aid to Egypt would likely have profound implications for the relationship between the U.S. and Egypt. That relationship has helped provide security and stability in the Middle East. And for more on this, we turn now to our terrorism analyst, Eric Stakelbeck. He joins us now from our D.C. bureau. Eric, do you think the U.S. should cut aid to Egypt?
No, Mark. I think this would be a major, major mistake. And ironically enough, the time we should have cut aid, I believe, is when Mohammed Morsi and the Muslim Brotherhood were in power. This sends exactly the wrong message, Mark, to particularly Egyptians. Look, I recently met with some high-ranking Egyptian officials here in the States during the UN General Assembly, Mark, and they told me that the Egyptian public right now has just a horrible view of the Obama administration. The message the Egyptian public is getting, the Egyptian people who were out in the streets in droves, Mark, millions of them against the Muslim Brotherhood back in July and August, the message they get from the Obama administration is, hey, we support the Brotherhood and we want Morsi back. That's the message the Egyptian people will take if the Obama administration cuts aid to this new Egyptian government.
If taking away aid means taking away security, does that open the door for terrorists in the region?
Mark, absolutely. Look, the Muslim Brotherhood, we're seeing it right now play out before our eyes. They are not going quietly. This is a terrorist group to its core. They aren't accepting Morsi's ouster lying down. I have fears, Mark, and we've talked about it here on NewsWatch, about the Muslim Brotherhood, its radical Islamist allies, targeting the Suez Canal, where a good amount of the world's oil passes through every day, targeting the Sinai Peninsula, launching attacks against Israel from that region. So there's a lot of potential here for things to get really out of hand in Egypt, and they're already out of hand.
Well, Eric, your book, The Brotherhood, talks about the work of the Muslim Brotherhood, and lately the group has seen some setbacks in Egypt. Do you think the crackdown against the Brotherhood is somewhat working?
Well, Mark, Egyptian officials tell me, yes, it is working. I spoke to an Egyptian official just a week ago who told me, look, we have a pretty good handle on the Brotherhood right now, but they are still concerned about that Sinai Peninsula, in particular, the northern half of Egypt's Sinai Peninsula, which borders Israel. That has become an al-Qaeda hotbed, Mark. But look, anything can happen. This is the Middle East. Things that seem improbable one day are actually happening the next. I don't think we've seen the last of the Brotherhood by a long shot in Egypt, although the Egyptian military does have a very good handle on them right now and are keeping them down for the most part.
All right, Eric, thanks for your time as always. We appreciate it. And for the latest from Eric, make sure you check out his weekly show and blog, The Watchman. And you can find a link to both at our website, cbnnews.com. A new video released by Nigeria's Boko Haram warns the terrorist group possesses enough weapons to sustain a lengthy struggle to Islamize the nation. Boko Haram has killed more than 2,000 Nigerian Christians in recent years. Habila Adamu was among those targeted. Militant Islamists shot him in the face last year, but he survived the attempted murder. International correspondent Gary Lane spoke with Habila about his ordeal.
One of them now ordered me to deny my faith in order to survive. And I told them that I will not deny my faith. I'm ready to die as a Christian. Before I closed my mouth, one of them fired me with AK-47.
Wow. To see the rest of that interview, visit the Global Lane blog at cbnnews.com. It is religious rights versus gay rights in the United Kingdom. The Supreme Court there today heard a case CBN News has been following from the beginning. Peter and Hazel Mary Bull are Christians who own a bed and breakfast in England. British courts have fined them almost $6,000 because they would not rent a room to a gay couple. Now they're fighting one last time for their religious rights, and Peter Wooding has their story.
The owners of a guest house in Cornwall on the southwest coast of England are facing legal action for refusing a double room to a gay couple. You can get a good home-cooked English breakfast here at the Chimorva Hotel and enjoy the views. But if you're unmarried, Mr. and Mrs. Bull insist you sleep in separate rooms. That's because they're devout Christians who believe in taking a firm stand for their beliefs. But Mr. and Mrs. Bull told CBN News they would happily have offered single-bed accommodation to a homosexual couple, but they still stand by their policy of not allowing unmarried couples to sleep in a double room.
Being Christians and that we believe that It's a moral duty to our Lord to carry out His wishes, to carry out what He wants. We try to be fair in everything we do, but this item is just our respect for married rights.
The Bulls said they can't believe that in a Christian country they're facing legal action simply for standing up for their beliefs.
We imagined that in a so-called Christian country that we would have the freedom to practice our beliefs, the same as many other religions are protected.
But the lawyer for the Bulls, Tom Ellis, says this isn't even just an isolated case, as another Christian couple is facing similar consequences for taking a moral stand at their guest house. Ellis says he's helping the Bulls also fight for their human rights.
The Human Rights Act guarantees everyone the freedom of religion, and that right also allows people to manifest that belief in accordance with their personal convictions, and therefore they have the right not to choose to endorse or encourage matters which they consider to be wrong according to biblical principles.
More may be at stake than the rights of these bed and breakfast owners. This battle, homosexual rights versus the traditional rights to religious freedom, are nothing new. But these court rulings could be precedent-setting. Will the UK allow Christians to freely express their beliefs, or will this force them to embrace state-imposed secularism? Peter Wooding for CBN News, Cornwall, England.
Since they were sued, the Bulls have faced death threats and vandalism. They've even had their website hacked and replaced with pornography. It's horrible. All of it's taken a toll, as you can imagine. They've put their business up for sale. Coming up, why some California conservatives are trying to reverse a law on transgenders in public schools.
Hello? Is this thing on? Hey, kids, do you love games? And do you love discovering things? Well, do ya?
Then you're gonna love this. It's the new free Superbook Kids Bible app. You can play games, watch videos, find answers to your questions, and a whole lot more. The new Superbook Kids Bible app. Free downloads available on iTunes and Google Play now.
In 2008, my husband Gary departed for heaven. I was still grieving. And then to find out I had cancer, I began praying, God, how do I do this? Where do I do this? Cancer Treatment Centers of America was the place. Dr. Neelam outlined a plan that would take care of my mind and my body, and she prayed with me.
For Bible-believing Christians, we're able to pray with them in a much deeper way as they begin to really rely upon their faith.
At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, we believe in the power of faith and prayer as indispensable allies in the fight against complex and advanced stage cancer.
I'm back in Telluride on the mountain skiing. I feel strong and healthy.
Advanced medicine and technology.
And I am a survivor.
The warm embrace of the Spirit and the power of prayer.
These are happy tears.
Please go to cancercenter.com/faith. Appointments available now. Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Care that never quits.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Conservative groups in California are trying to prevent a new law from going into effect. The measure allows transgender students to use boys' and girls' bathrooms. Supporters say it protects kids, but opponents argue it's a case of the state indoctrinating students. David Brody brings us the story from Sacramento.
California isn't exactly known as a conservative stronghold, and now liberal lawmakers are pushing even further. Democratic Governor Jerry Brown just signed a law stating that transgender students can choose which restrooms they want to use and whether they want to play boys or girls sports. LA and San Francisco already took this action, but it's the first time a transgender law like this made it to the state level. It's all cloaked under the guise of fairness.
No student can learn if they feel like they have to hide who they are at school or if they are singled out for unequal treatment.
Supporters say it's important that transgender students feel comfortable and not isolated.
It's going to take away that extra pressure of not knowing where to go and not knowing what classes you're going to be in and not being treated as the same as all the other boys or girls in your school.
The Democrats control the state capital agenda up here in Sacramento, but there is one guy inside, Assemblyman Tim Donnelly, a conservative Republican who has said he's had enough. He's pulling his kid out of school.
The public schools are no longer interested in education. They become government indoctrination centers.
So the Assemblyman from Southern California made a strong choice.
I pulled my 13-year-old son out of school. He is not going back to the junior high school for more of this social indoctrination. To me, they ought to be talking about reading, writing, and arithmetic, not sexual identity politics.
And he's not the only one who feels that way. Social conservative groups want the law stopped, and it will take 500,000 signatures to let California voters decide the law's fate next November.
It's going to require hundreds of thousands of signatures to be gathered, but we certainly believe it's something that the people of California across the ideological spectrum want to see.
I have never seen anything unite parents. There's a movement. I'm calling it Parents United.
Stories about special rights for transgender students are cropping up all over the nation. A Wisconsin elementary school now has something called Switch It Up Day, where kids wear clothing of the opposite sex. In Colorado, a first grader who was born as a boy won a court case after being banned from the girls' restroom at school. Donnelly believes this is going too far when statistics show just 0.3% of people are transgender in America.
You don't have the right to violate the civil rights of 99% of the population because 1% of the population is suffering from a disorder.
But transgender groups won't stop pushing for equal access, even if many think they've gone too far.
This bill is 3 bridges too far. It's not 1 bridge too far. And they're burning the bridges.
David Brody, CBN News in Sacramento, California.
For more from David, make sure you check out his blog and weekly show, The Brody File. Both are at our website, cbnnews.com. We'll be right back.
Stop struggling with heavy hoses that are kinked and deliver little or no water, or worse, break. Introducing the incredible Flexible Hose. Turn the water on and it expands up to 3 times its original length, so you can easily guide it anywhere you need without tangling. When you turn the water off, as it drains, the hose retracts back to its original shape. Standard rubber hoses can weigh between 8 and 12 pounds, but a 25-foot flexible hose weighs less than a pound. The Flexible Hose is so compact and lightweight, a child can manage a 75-foot hose easily. The Flexible Hose will never kink and is guaranteed to take the mess out of watering your lawn and plants. So washing your windows or spraying off your gutters has never been easier. The Flexible Hose is made of a tough double wall construction that is designed to bend and stretch but never kink.
Flexible Hose is designed like a fire hose for speed, storage, and strength to last a really long time.
Call or visit flexiblehose.com to order the incredible Flexible Hose for only $19.95. Call right now and we will include a 7-way adjustable spray nozzle free. You can choose a full action spray, a gentle mist, a powerful jet, a vertical mist, flat spray, a cone spray, or a soaker setting. So stop coiling your hose with bulky devices. Flexible hose automatically retracts in seconds and weighs less than 1 pound. In fact, a 75-foot hose easily fits in a small bucket and stores away neatly in a drawer. Flexible hose saves you precious space on boats and is perfectly portable for RVs. But wait, order today and we'll give you a second flexible hose system free. Just pay separate processing and handling. That's 2 flexible hoses and 2 7-way adjustable spray nozzles, a $40 value, all for only $19.95. This offer is not available in any store. Order now.
To order flexible hose and take advantage of this amazing double offer, call 1-800-769-3384 or go to flexiblehose.com. Remember, this offer is not available in stores, so call now.
The European Commission will be providing Italy with money to assist African refugees. It will receive 30 million euros to help settle and receive survivors of the migrant boat that sunk off the coast of Lampedusa last week. The head of the commission also pledged to implement an EU-wide asylum policy and to strengthen border patrol to prevent similar tragedies. Recovery operations are continuing to locate victims of the sinking. Around 500 people were on the boat and only 155 survived. Every day, thousands of Africans crowd into tiny boats and set sail for Europe in search of a better life. But like in this most recent case, many of them never make it, and those who do face an uncertain future. In tonight's Focus Report, George Thomas brings us the story of one man's journey from the open seas to the streets of Rome.
One hot summer in 2003, Jaro Tahir Abdul Karim, along with 28 other Africans, crammed into a 30-foot boat.
We knew it was going to be a very hard journey.
They took off from the Libyan coastal city of Tripoli, heading to Lampedusa, a Sicilian island south of Italy.
We didn't have food or water. People died on the boat. But I knew this was my only chance to escape the hell back home.
That home was life in the war-torn Darfur region of Sudan.
I left Darfur because I knew if I stayed there, I would be killed in the war. And so I wanted to make a new life.
3 days later, he landed here on the shores of Lampedusa, and within a couple of months, he made it to the streets of Rome.
I just want to live a normal life, simple and without any problems. I want to be happy.
Getting to Lampedusa wasn't easy. The route from Africa to Europe is one of the most dangerous journeys in the world.
I walked for a month from Darfur to a town in Libya. I had no papers, no documents, and no passport. I spent 2 years in Libya, working and saving money to pay someone to take me across the Mediterranean.
A journey to Lampedusa is only the final part of what is a harrowing experience.
Antonio Virgilio works for a humanitarian group based in Rome that's helping to care for these African migrants.
It begins with their trek across the African desert, which can take months. They pay smugglers anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 for the trip, and that too with no guarantees of reaching their destination. People die just trying to cross the desert.
The journey from North Africa to here on the shores of Italy takes anywhere from 3 hours to 5 days. And just in case you thought that there is an experienced captain to navigate the high seas, think again.
First of all, the boats, small dinghies, are totally unseaworthy. Then people are not given food or enough food and water. Those who steer the boats have no experience. Maybe sometimes they have never seen the sea before.
On a rescue, Italian authorities plucked 45 stranded people from the sea after they had run out of food and fuel. This passenger asked that her identity be protected.
On the third day of our journey, 2 women died, and this got people very scared. There was a small boy on the boat, and as soon as the women died, he started to cry.
Those fortunate enough to survive the trip face the harsh realities of a new life in a foreign land.
I just got here a couple of days ago. I don't speak the language, I don't have a place to stay, and I need to find a job.
Italy and several countries conduct regular sea patrols to try to curb the number of African migrants coming to Europe.
More should be done to target those who commit the crime of people smuggling. All we can do at sea is carry out rescue operations.
But many African nations aren't keen on stopping the flow of people leaving the continent.
The truth of the matter is that African nations have very little incentive to stop the flow of migrants coming to Europe. According to the latest statistics from the United Nations, close to $38 billion sent from Europe to Africa by Africans working abroad.
I send about $300 every month to my parents back home and also to my brother. They are poor and need all the help they can get.
Karim has been in Italy for 5 years. He now works part-time with a group that's helping others like him to adjust to life in this country.
My dream is to get married, have a family, and if I get more than I need, I'd like to help my people back in Darfur.
Karim is grateful to be alive. Rarely a week goes by without him hearing about another attack in Darfur or news about another boat sinking on the open seas. Despite the dangers, the flow of African migrants continues as endless as ever. Georgetown, CBN News, Rome.
Up next, how one 7-year-old used his own birthday to help others in need.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Welcome back. One 7-year-old from Idaho is celebrating his birthday in a slightly different way this year. Nate dressed up like his favorite Duck Dynasty hero, Uncle Si, and then made a video asking for new shoes for his birthday. But the shoes he wants aren't for himself.
Bringing shoes for foster kids at my birthday party, I mostly need toddler shoes.
He thought of something that he would like and knew other kids would like that, and he thought about what those kids would want.
What a great kid. The positive response to Nate's video has been overwhelming. So far, he has received more than 150 pairs of shoes for children in need. That young to already have the heart of a giver. That's great. Well, that's all for this edition of NewsWatch. Remember, you can email us your comments and questions at newswatch@cbn.com. Hope you'll join us next time.